So when you're near me, darling, can't you hear me? SOS. The love you gave me, nothing else can save me. SOS. This poor lady here, she spent like 20 minutes trying to get her car out of this fucking gridlock. I've heard of highway gridlock, but these people who park their bumpers flush against another person's, they should just realize that they're endangering themselves to being locked in, just like that. No one's going to be able to get to go until this car decides to go, or the one on the other end decides to go. Oh my God, last night I was hurling abuse at this son of a bitch. Look how he put up lights right here. He had the balls to get on a ladder and get this close to me. That son of a bitch motherfucker from Shine Construction. And I even said to him, I know you got a cease and desist letter from the city, so just tell me why. Oh, look. Empty. It's not tourist season right now. Pathetic. And I'm like, so why are you doing it? And he just didn't answer me anymore. But I know I've spooked them all. I was like, Robin and I were sitting in the other window, and we were kind of like fucking with him, because this one guy, he claimed he didn't speak English, and so I started saying shit like, that guy told me he doesn't speak English. He's a fucking pussy. And he looked up at me right away. Don't say you don't speak English if you speak it. Because if you say that, then you open yourself up to a ton of abuse. I mean, if I don't speak Spanish, and I'm not going to try to pretend that I know Spanish. I know like a few phrases, a few words. I wish my Spanish was better, but you know, I'm not really pressured to learn it, because you know, everybody in the markets and wherever I go, they all speak English. This is an English-speaking country. But anyway, being as that is, our Constitution, you know, is written in English. It's not written in Spanish. So there's no way to possibly interpret our Constitution and all our laws unless they're written in English and you can read and write English. And that's how it's always going to be. And a lot of countries that were part of the British Empire, English is still the official language. I know at least back in the 80s, the Philippine Constitution was written in English, which made sense. They speak like so many different languages. It's a polyglot. And it's all these islands, and from the bottom to the top, the people don't understand each other. And India is the same way. It's this huge subcontinent where there are like 200 different languages, 100 different languages, I don't know. But, so they all agreed, well, we'll just keep the English. We'll write our Constitution in English and model it after either the American way of going, like a more federal kind of constitution, or you know, sort of a constitutional monarchy kind of system, like the French have, but there's no monarch. There's just a head of state that has very little power, who's elected to office. Israel has that model. It's a parliamentary government, if you will. You know, sometimes I wish America had a parliamentary government here, but now that I see what's happened with my party kind of wresting power away from these incompetent Republicans, Now I'm all happy and I don't want a parliamentary system anymore. And they say that the Democrats are going to lose votes in the 10-20 election. Don't you even try it. The Democrats are going to finish what they started in 2008. Wresting control of both of those houses away from the incompetent piece of shit horrible Republicans who just rolled over for this incompetent administration. It's just like, if it were a novel, it wouldn't be believed what's happened in the last 8 years to this country. If it had been written in a novel 20 years ago, no one would have believed it. But we had the Reagan Revolution, which sort of led the way to this. Like, now everybody knows that Eisenhower was not the greatest president, and that Nixon was a crook. And like, when he left office, he said, he basically apologized for not being a very good president, and he said, watch out for the industrial military complex. And what has this been proof of the last 8 years? The triumph of the industrial military complex. Halliburton, Boeing, it's just kind of heartbreaking. I think I have to go now, and I've been rambling for a while. Goodbye, best wishes, hugs and kisses.